with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a Black Friday edition of the Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 30 and change. It is a football frenzy-filled Friday here, November 29th, 2024. So stay with us the entire day. We'll be breaking down the 3 games that were played yesterday on Thanksgiving. We'll be breaking down the 1 game that'll be played on Black Friday today between the Raiders and the Chiefs. And then, as we do on every single Friday, is we have a little bit of a football frenzy at the end here, and we break down every game coming up this weekend in the National Football League. I start by telling you I am Andrew Romanella, and you can follow me or us, The Rome Show 1. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X. That's the show's social media handle. You can follow 12OZ Sports at the exact same locations, but more specifically, more importantly, we need you to follow 12OZ Sports on YouTube or X, because if you follow on either of those, you get all the most up-to-date information on what show is when, and you can comment live on the show, which I think is, in my opinion, the most fun when being a live listener. I tell you this before we officially get into all of our information today on the Rome Show. If you head to RomeShowShop.com, that's RomeShowShop.com, we have a Black Friday sale going on. That is correct. We have a few sales going on for the people on Black Friday, but we do have a Black Friday sale. Head over to RomeShowShop.com, and if you use the promo code Black Friday, you know, that's pretty simple, right? I believe you'll receive $10 off of any order, $30 or more. I did it that way, just so you're wondering, because our hoodies are about $30. So just getting one item, you'll get $10 off. So head to RomeShowShop.com, use the promo code Black Friday. We revamped the entire website. We have revamped all of the gear. The new Be Electric hoodies are sweet. There's 3 different versions of them. So go check it out, RomeShowShop.com. We had a discussion yesterday on Thanksgiving about if Thanksgiving was a sports athlete, what sports athlete would Thanksgiving be? And my example was Tracy McGrady, because Tracy McGrady is really good basketball player, probably never reached his true potential, but was never not enjoyable to watch. And for the most part, you always had more positive memories of Tracy McGrady than negative memories. So if you want to get in on that conversation, go ahead and hit us up on social media, The Rome Show 1. I believe that question sticker runs out today. We got a lot of really good answers. Refrigerator Perry for the Pittsburgh Steelers seemed to be the answer that came up the most. My favorite one, arguably, was Aaron Rodgers. And at the end of the day, when you get to Thanksgiving as a holiday, you start to realize what type of holiday it is. And we're not going to dive into this. Head to the Rome Show podcast, where you get your podcast, and check up on the debate. But it was a lot of fun going through it yesterday. So I just want to let anyone know that might not have heard the show on Thanksgiving that you should take a second. It's the first 5 minutes of the show, and go listen to the first 5 segment yesterday, because it was really enjoyable to hear about people's thoughts on the Thanksgiving holiday. If you're out and about right now spending some money, or if you're online spending some money, or if, because Black Friday is really not a singular day anymore, it's literally a week, we hope you tune into the Rome Show the entire time. I don't know how many radio shows are live the day after Thanksgiving, but we are for our people, because there's so much to break down. Let's go do it right now. 3 games yesterday in the National Football League. And I would say that every single game, for the most part, was a good football game. There were moments in each game, less the first game, more the Giants, Cowboys, Dolphins, Packers, where you're like, all right, maybe this game really actually isn't going to be that good. Pretty much exactly what I expected. But no, they all had drama. They were all really good. And we're going to start in Detroit because the way that the Lions-Bears game ended, in my opinion, is a fireable offense for head coach Matt Eberflus. Not only are the Bears currently on a 6-game losing streak after their 23-20 defeat yesterday at the hands of the Detroit Lions, but they lost a game yesterday, quite possibly the worst way I think you could ever lose a football game. And then Eberflus doubled down after the game in his press conference that it was like a right decision. We'll play it all for you here in a second here. But in my opinion, that is the way that game ended yesterday. We'll show it right now. It is a fireable offense for Matt Eberflus. We'll set the scene for you. The Detroit Lions had a 16-0 lead going into the halftime break. The Lions go up by as many as 23-7, okay? The Bears in the second half outscored the Lions 20-7 to make it a 23-20 football game. The Bears are driving late in the game. They get past the halfway point of the field, okay? They're in field goal territory, and here is how the rest of the game plays out for the Chicago. From the 32-second mark until the spot that we just saw, which was the 8-second mark, it took the Chicago Bears, and you're watching it right now, tick, 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 tick. He's going through the play. They're taking their sweet A time. There's really no sense of urgency. And here's what I'd like to remind Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams here. This is not about winning the football game. You're at 3rd and 26. You are 4 yards away from getting back into field goal territory. So let's call a play with 32 seconds left in the game that's going to get us to 3 yards. We have 1 timeout left. You cannot go into the locker room with that timeout in your pocket. So you have 1 timeout left. Why don't you just throw a quick shot here? No, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. He still hadn't hiked the ball yet. He was behind center in the shotgun formation through all of that lost and wasted time. He was in the gun formation with 12 seconds on the clock. So you could still hike the football, run a 3 or a 4 yard play, get the clock down to about 3 or 4 seconds, call timeout, be in field goal range, and bam, you win the football game. Here's Coach Eberflus after the game. Coach, do you support your decision and the play call late in the football game?
We liked the play that we had. And we were hoping that he was going to call it or get the ball snapped, and then we would have called timeout right there. But once it's under 7 there, then you call timeout there, then you're basically throwing the ball to the end zone because once it's under 12, you can't throw it inside with no timeout. And it was 3rd going into 4th, so that's the big deal. So it was 3rd going into 4th. That's why we wanted to preserve the timeout.
So in retrospect, how should you have handled the final sequence?
Yeah, I like what we did there.
Correction? You like what you did? That reporter just asked you, Coach Eberflus, do you like the way you handled that play? And he started the answer with, we like what we did, though we just lost the game.
Again, once it's under 7, you're gonna call timeout there, or actually under 12, and then really you don't have an option, because it's 3rd to 4th, you got to throw it into the end zone then. So to me, it's I think we handled it the right way. I do believe that. You just re-rack the play, get it in bounce, and call timeout, and that's why we held it, and didn't work out the way we wanted it to.
All right. If I am the front office of the Chicago Bears today, I am firing our head coach. And how many times have I told you on this? How many times have I told you on this show that I don't like to fire people? I'm not coming up here and saying, we got to fire that guy. We got to fire that guy. He lost games. That right there is fireable. Why is it fireable? It's fireable because the coaching is first off atrocious, okay? Your rookie quarterback needs to know what he's doing in that scenario. If he gets into X, he does Y. If he gets into Y, he does Z. If he does A, he does B. There are contingency plans in the 2-minute drill for a quarterback in the National Football League. It's like a flight plan to fly across the country and all the different ways you could go. There are so many different ways you could slice it. But at the end of the day, if you are a team that needs to kick a field goal, has one timeout remaining, and is close to that field goal range, the only thing you're thinking about right there is how do I get this ball stopped in a spot where my field goal kicker can tie this game? And furthermore, the spot in the interview where he goes, well, it was 7, then it was 12, and then he got... The guy doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't have a clock management plan. He wasn't prepared for that moment in the game. And you want to wonder why the Bears, with all the talent that they have, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma, Dunze, Taylor Swift, DeAndre Swift, obviously, and Caleb Williams, Cole Kmet. This is a talent-ridden offense that doesn't look that good. It's probably because, A, the quarterback might not be as good as we thought. Still more to be determined on that one. But more so than anything else, the coaching staff is not putting this player and this team in a position to win. And that's what you saw on Thanksgiving Day yesterday. Because, by the way, the Detroit Lions have finally ended their Thanksgiving losing streak. They were on a 7-game Thanksgiving losing streak. But Matt Eberflus and the Bears said, "Now you're good. We'll go home with this timeout. We'll let our quarterback run a 33-second play to end the game that nets absolutely nothing for us, and we're going to tell the reporters after the game, I'm happy with that play. That was a good play." No, I got an idea. Get the hell out of the building. Seriously, you are the problem. That right there shows us you are the problem. By the way, crazy statistic from this game. In the first half of this contest, the Chicago Bears had 0 points, 2 first downs, and 53 yards. In the second half, second half, the Chicago Bears had 7 points, 4 first downs, and 74 yards. So good adjustments at the halftime, but terrible clock management late. The Bears dropped their 6th in a row. The Detroit Lions win their 10th in a row, and this is the first time, 9th in a row. This is the first time since 1934 the Detroit Lions have been 10-1. When we talk Packers a little bit later, that NFC North division is actually wild right now. Okay, that was the first game of the day. The second game of the day, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Football Giants. And we've been talking a lot about this New York Football Giants team recently and really how poor that they have become. On TikTok the other day, some dude wrote at me saying that it's called tanking. And then I said, "What? The Giants have been tanking for 13 years?" And then he's like, "You're an idiot, essentially. It's not tanking. It's making bad decisions." And I said, "Exactly. You've proved my point. The Giants have entered bad franchise territory. It is what it is." And nothing was more apparent yesterday than the fact that right now they are not operating anywhere near a good football team. They had 13 penalties yesterday against the Dallas Cowboys. 13. If you think about the entirety of the football game, Giants versus Cowboys, it really came down to the self-inflicted wounds. How many times the Giants self-inflicted wounds on themselves yesterday, and it really hurt themselves. And then this pick six, because at one point in time, the Giants were up 7-3 with the football, and they were about to drive, and then Drew Lock did this. Screen pass. Oh, the Marvion Overshone with the beautiful play. And you'll see right here, this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the Giants don't have an NFL quarterback on their roster. If you could look at the screen for me really quickly. In the top right of your screen, you'll see Devin Singletary. He is the person who Drew Lock is looking to get the football to on this screen pass. You can look at this scenario. It's a three-headed monster. You got Drew Lock with the football. Overshone here is attacking on the play, and it looks like Devin Singletary is leaning himself towards the sidelines to the right. Any logical, really good quarterback that should be a starter in the National Football League, you know what they would do in this scenario? They would float this ball over Devin Singletary's head, and then he would just kind of turn, catch that floater, and keep running. Not here, though. Not the Giants. This is exactly what happens from Drew Lock. Oh, he tries to throw a dart instead of one that just goes nice up and over. And just like that, the Giants, who were up 7-6 at that moment in time and playing some pretty good football with a lead, feeling all right about their new version of a quarterback, throw a pick six, and then the game never back in their hands again after that. At one point in time, they were down, I think it was 27 to, I don't know, maybe it was 10. So, I mean, not an atrocious day because obviously they competed, and comparative to what happened the week before, just taking the competition for the Giants this week, I thought was super important. So that was great. But at the end of the day, they're just not a good football team. They're not a disciplined football team. And that is their biggest Achilles heel. You can't be non-disciplined and be a good football team. The Dallas Cowboys, they've now won 2 straight and started to eke their way into playoff contention. The only problem is, and we'll talk about this as we get back on the break here, the only problem is you have the NFC North with 3 teams with 9 wins or better. So essentially, the Cowboys are going to have to hope that the Commanders and or the Eagles just absolutely fall back going the other way, because the wild card spot in the NFC East is going to be, NFC overall is going to be tough right now, because the 6th seed in the NFC for the postseason is the Packers at 9-3. Then you have the Commanders at 7-5, the Cardinals at 6-5. It's like that's a lot. You might have dug yourself too deep of a hole if you're the Dallas Cowboys. We are going to put ourselves in a commercial hole real quick. When we bounce back, we got to talk Packers versus Dolphins, Black Friday football, and then week 14. Is it week 14 this week in the National Football League? No way. Really? Wow. It's wild how quick it goes. We got to talk week 13 in the National Football League, the Rome Show on a Black Friday here. 12 OZ Sports. Stick with us after this commercial break.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Yeah, it's the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and on X. I am Andrew Romanella. I'm here with you for about 10 more minutes, as we do every single day at 7 a.m. It's Black Friday, November 29th, 2024. Not the same Black Friday I grew up with, I'll tell you that. Not that I'm that old, only 34, but Black Friday for us was like, all right, Thanksgiving ended. Let's take a nap. We'll go out about midnight and we'll hit the stores. I would have gotten home while the Rome show was starting in the old school Black Friday. Now, everything's on the internet. Black Friday lasts. It's like Black Fridays. You got like a week and a half of the Black Friday deals. So for me, it's like, okay, well, they can wake up, they can enjoy their coffee, they can listen to the Rome show, and then they can hit RomeShowShop.com for their Black Friday deals, and then go get the rest of the Black Friday deals. But the days of trampling over people at Walmart, right, for a PS2, or the days of crushing somebody at a supermarket for something on Black Friday, that's over. Waiting outside the mall, that's over. Because the www.com thing started. And now the internet exists. And Black Friday is really just another excuse to make sales. The Dolphins gave everybody another excuse last night to tell them that they cannot play football in cold weather games. Last night, the Dolphins lost to the Green Bay Packers 30-17. Knocking down nail number 3 of probably the 4th nail in the coffin for the Dolphins season. They were 2-6. They got Tua back. They won 3 straight, brought themselves back into AFC wildcard contention, but could not afford really a loss the rest of the way. Still hope, obviously, but nonetheless, it's less about the loss, more about the narrative. The narrative coming into this game was the Dolphins are not very good in games of 40 degrees or less. Okay. The stats I gave you yesterday were if it's 50 degrees or less, the Dolphins are 15-43. Under 40 degrees in the last 20 years, the Dolphins are 2-21, including last night, and now on a 12-game losing streak in games under 40 degrees. It also didn't help the fact that they went into halftime down 24-3, so it wasn't even competitive. There's no other narrative in this game. There's no other conversation. There's no, oh, the Packers were so good or this or that. Jordan Love played good, threw for 365 and 2 TDs. The running game was good threw for 274 and 2 TDs. The running game was solid for the Packers. They didn't need it ridiculously. They ran for 114 and a touchdown. Their defense played phenomenally, and they just outplayed the Dolphins. There was nothing recklessly spectacular. They outplayed the Dolphins. Jaden Reed had 2 touchdowns for the Packers as well. So what are you going to do if you're Miami? There's nothing else you can do but answer the call here. And what I noticed, it's a mindset thing. And that's easy to say, but it's the truth. You look at your head coach, and he looks like he's freezing on the sidelines. Jonnu Smith catches a football, then comes off the field and immediately puts on the warm jacket. Like, no, that's not the type of football you can play in cold weather, right? Don't make jokes to me, Mike McDaniel, throughout the week about how you're going to keep ice cubes in your pocket and throw them at players when your team gets slaughtered in cold weather all the time. Or furthermore, Mike McDaniels, where when you're within winning opportunity of the postseason and you need important wins down the stretch, why this Dolphins team always finds a way to lose. That's the facts. Late November, December, cold, not cold, game's important, doesn't matter, Dolphins lose. That's what I'm noticing. So I think at some point in time, you got to do something different. And I don't know what you can do in Miami. In my opinion, what I would have done, I would have called the Florida Panthers and I would have said, hey, what's the deal with your schedule this week? Is there any chance we can get into your practice rink? We're going to run our 11-on-11 warm-up, whatever crap. Do whatever you can in the hockey rink. Do something. But it is actually now embarrassing. It's a joke. It is actually like, how could the Dolphins ever win anything if half the league, plays where it could snow or be cold? Like, it's not even like funny. This is like a problem. It's like the Minnesota Twins against the Yankees. It doesn't matter how good the Twins are in a given season. They play the Yankees in the first game of the playoffs, it's over. So I don't know what to do here. My only suggestion is get into the Florida Panthers hockey rink and start practicing in there. But outside of that, this can't continue. This cannot continue. You're too talented, too good of a football team, too much expectations to keep losing games. I bet if you went on Mike McDaniel's record from week 13 to week 17, each of the last 3 years, he's probably combined 2 and like 12. I can't watch it anymore. That was, you want to lose the game, lose the game. Don't lose down 24-3. You are giving everybody the easiest narrative. It is so easy. If I was an indoors team and you were coming to town, I would turn the AC all the way up in your locker room. To me, it's embarrassing. So the Dolphins got to figure something out here because their identity is true. They cannot play games under 40 degrees. And by the way, most of the most important games in the National Football League happen in cold weather months. Not good for the Finns. Tonight, the Raiders, they take on the Chiefs. Here's what we're going to do. We'll talk Raiders Chiefs. We'll go through the Sunday NFL slate, and then we will give you our daily bananas. Let's hit the sounder so we can finish this show strong. All right. We got the Chiefs. We got the Raiders. We're in Las Vegas. We're on Amazon Prime Video. It's 3 p.m. tonight. It's your second Black Friday contest in as many years. The Chiefs are favored in this game by 12.5 points. Correction, 13 points. The Chiefs are favored by. The total in this game is 42.5. It's either going to be Desmond Ridder or Aiden O'Connell as the starter for the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't believe in either of them. The Chiefs, however, are like 3-8 this year against the spread, so they don't do very good when they're favored. I'm going to go against that, though. I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I'm going to take the spread here because I just don't see much in the Raiders. I think the Chiefs' defense is solid. Steve Spagnuolo always finds a way, and if you have Ridder or you have O'Connell, neither of them are good enough against no matter what defense you're playing to be able to, I think, beat this Chiefs team. I don't know what goes on with the Raiders in the next few years. This is a very interesting franchise to figure out. You know, I like Antonio Pierce. I think he's a good head coach, but I don't know if the Raiders are creating another version of the Dallas Cowboys over the consistent winner that used to exist in Oakland. Are we a show, an attraction, a money-making item, or are we going to try and win some football games? A lot's to be determined, but tonight I'm going to go Chiefs at the minus 13. In terms of the number, 42.5, I kind of want to take the under there, more because the Raiders side than because the Chiefs side. All right, let's get into Sunday now because we have a good Sunday slate, not as big as usual because of the Thanksgiving Day feast, but nonetheless, we start Chargers at Falcons. The Chargers are favored by 1 point in this game. They're in Atlanta. 47.5 is the total. I will take the Chargers at the -1. This is essentially a pick 'em until any Falcons team, whether led by Kirk Cousins or not, can prove to me that I trust them. I cannot pick again. I have to pick against them. The Steelers, they are in Cincinnati facing the Bengals. Now, remind you, the Steelers, they're 8-3. The Bengals, they're 4-7. But the Bengals, they're favored in this game by 3 points. So essentially a field goal. Joe Burrow has 3 losses in games this year where he's thrown for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's got 27 on the year, 3,028 yards. I think on paper, they are asking you to hammer the Steelers here. But for some reason, this game is giving me vibes that I have to go with Cincy. So I'm going to stay away from the spread, and I'm going to take Cincy straight up on the money line to win this contest against the Steelers. If you wanted me on the spread, I'd say Steelers plus the 3, Cincy on the money line. That's how tight this game is going to be. Cardinals at Vikings. This has a lot of implications, especially for the Cardinals who are leading the NFC West and could have a wild card spot. Like, there's so much that could happen in that NFC West. The Vikings, they're fighting for the first spot, 1.5 back of the Detroit Lions, and they want to hold their high wild card spot. Minnesota favored by 3.5 at home. I'm going to take Minnesota. My prediction, Sam Darnold gets hurt. Daniel Jones leads the Vikings to victory. Colts at Patriots. Colts are favored by 2.5. I don't think either of these teams are very good. I think this game has the makings of an upset. Give me the Patriots at the plus 2.5. Seahawks at Jets. Seattle's only favored by 1.5 here, but the way Seattle's defense played last week and how much I don't believe in the Jets, even though Seattle's on the road, I'm going to take Seattle at the -1.5 here. The total in that game is 42.5. Give me the over. I don't think either defense is going to play very elite, at least to that standard in that game. Titans at Commanders. Commanders are favored by 5.5 here. The Titans are coming off some big, really good play I don't think Will Levis is that good. I think Dan Quinn and his defense can figure it out first, and the offense will start to trend back with Cliff Kingsbury. Give me the Commanders at the -5.5 there. Texans at Jaguars. Houston hasn't been playing great. I just don't believe in the Jags, so give me the Texans at -4. The over-under in that game is 43.5. Give me the over. Neither defense is very good. Rams at Saints. Rams favored by 2.5 there. I'll take that on the road. Over-under 49.5 in that game. Give me the under. Buccaneers at Panthers. Bucks favored by 5.5. I like that, but I don't love it because the Panthers have been playing better, and they're at home. So I'll take the Panthers in that game at the +5.5. Eagles, Ravens, Baltimore -3 in that game. The Eagles are underdogs on the road. Hell yeah, give me that. Two of the best running backs in the league right there. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley going head to head. That totals 50.5. I'm afraid of that one. I don't really know. So I'm going to stay away from that over under and take the Eagles at the +3. Then finally, I got the 49ers at the Bills. I thought this could have been a potential Super Bowl matchup. I don't know about the 49ers side. The Bills, this is primetime territory for the Bills right now. They get to their 10th win. They can win the NFC East on Sunday with a victory since the Dolphins lost. That's wild in Week 13 to win your division. I think they're going to do it. Give me the Bills and give me them at the +7. Yeah, +7. I don't know if this 49 team is good enough to play, let alone travel on the road to Orchard Park, New York, and deal with those fans and deal with those elements. And by the way, the Bills are 5-0 at home. So Bills at the +7. Let's finish this thing off with our official picks of the day.
Ba 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 na na ba 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 na na oh ba 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 na na
All right, so it's the Raiders and it's the Chiefs. That's who we have tonight. We've talked about it already. Let's just give you our picks so we can head into the weekend and we can go make some Black Friday shopping happen ourselves. Like I said before, it is Chiefs at 12.5 right now. I believe in the Chiefs today. I'm going to take the Chiefs at the -12.5. I just think that they are that much better than an Aiden O'Connell or a Desmond Ridder-led Vegas team. I can get an alternate line of Patrick Mahomes at 225 plus passing yards for -230. So outside of the -12.5 on the Chiefs, I'm also going to take Pat Mahomes at over 225 rushing yards because, passing yards. I think he's going to have an elite day. But on the flip side, I'm going to take Brock Bowers at 60 plus receiving yards. So not going with the line that they're necessarily giving us on either one, but I want to go with those two dudes. Patty Mahomes over 225 on the throwing, Brock Bowers over 60 plus on the receiving, and then I want the Chiefs at the -12.5. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Rome Show here on a Black Friday, Thanksgiving edition, whatever you want to call it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic, happy, and healthy rest of your holiday season. Head to RomeShowShop.com, get your B electric gear, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Andrew Romanella saying peace.
Thank you for listening.